And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the NBA playoff preview episode. Wow, that's a mouthful. Um,
That's what she said.
yes, we. Anyway,
Good start, Pat. Good
um,
start.
yes, we are going to do our playoff preview. Coming out, you know, before the playoffs officially start, but not actually before the play-in. Um, but we thought we'd give this to you. Drop a few days after the play-in has started, but the play-in is still going. So speaking of which, we can talk about the play-in, guys. Um, there's a couple things that have already happened. I think last night, Orlando beat Atlanta
In
and blowout
dominating
fashion.
fashion. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Trey Young got thrown out of the game.
I did.
Um, it was a very interesting game. That Orlando like blew them out in the first half, and then like didn't show up for the third quarter, and Atlanta pulled it within three, and then Orlando blew them out in the fourth quarter again, and ended up winning like 120-95, I think was the final
Yeah.
score.
Something crazy.
Um,
They got what? Play the
yeah,
Celtics next?
yeah. So that puts them as the 7 seed, so they will go on to play the Celtics in the first round. And then the Warriors and Grizzlies played last night, and the Warriors pulled out a very close game in that one. Um, I honestly didn't get to watch the entirety of that game. I only got to watch the first half. Um, but it was a really good game from what I watched, and when I woke up and watched the highlights, it seemed like it stayed a pretty good game in the second half.
Yeah, the Grizz were right there, and then when Ja went down for a while,
Oh.
did something to his ankle. That kind of Warriors kind of closed it out after that.
Yeah, and Jimmy had himself a ball game.
They had what, like 30 something? Curry had
38, I
like
think.
30 something.
I think him and Curry combined for 75 points.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna be a tough out for. Well, I guess they're the 7 seed now too, so that means they got to play who in the West?
Rockets.
Oh, the Rocket. Yeah, well, I mean the Rockets have no playoff experience. They don't, they're a young team. The Warriors could win that series. I mean
Well,
that'll be an
they
interesting
already
one.
got the bets favoring Golden State.
Oh,
But
do they really?
Yeah.
I read something that this year during the regular season, when Steph plays the Rockets, he only averages like 16 points a game on like 34% shooting because Amen Thompson guards him.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I actually
Oh,
I actually
okay.
read something about that like a month ago that he guarded them like the best in the league this year or something.
I mean, and they also have Eason, who's a defensive nightmare who they can throw out there for 20 minutes a game, who would terrorize people. That's the Rockets thing. They're young and athletic and will destroy you on defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a scrappy series, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And then, I guess currently, and this is why we record, Chicago and Miami are playing, and Miami has been handling this game fairly easily all night. I've not been watching every second of it, but I've been walking in and out of the room doing a few things while it's been on, and
But
every
Chicago's
time I have,
Chicago's coming back a little bit. They're down by 13.
yeah, which is saying something. Which is saying something when you made a big comeback and you're still down 13.
Yeah.
Uh, But yeah, there's like 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's a 13-point game. So it's not an impossible comeback, but Miami's had this game in hand most of the night.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
well, I think it's a 10-point game, or no, I mean 16-point game now.
Yeah.
But anyway, that being said, the winner of this game will get the opportunity to play the Hawks for the 8 seed,
Yeah. So,
and
yeah.
then after this game is the Mavericks and Kings for the opportunity to play the Grizzlies for the 8 seed. Um, so what do y'all think about that game? That seems like
Uh,
a game of franchises going in the wrong direction.
that's very true. Uh, Yeah, I didn't really like any of the Kings, the trade they did this year. That was kind of, and DeRozan ain't really panned out and helped them out a whole lot.
No, and letting Fox go.
Yeah, that was pretty silly.
Yeah.
And Dallas has done the same kind of bullshit on a more epic scale.
Which
But-
was good for my Lakers, but
Well, no doubt.
if I was a Mavs fan, I'd be PO'd.
But I mean, if they could have, if somehow Kyrie would have not got injured, they don't have that seriously of a bad team. It's more defensive focus, I guess now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all right.
I
They
mean,
just-
Anthony Davis is good when
Yeah.
he plays. You just can't always count on him to be out there.
Yeah, and that's what sucks.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ray. I think if Kyrie was healthy and Anthony Davis being there, they would be a much better team than they are now.
Yeah.
And they would be a decent team, but I still don't think they're a contender with
No,
that team.
definitely not. But I mean, they can make probably a little noise. They wouldn't get out of the first round, but they would probably be at least maybe a 6th seed with Kyrie, I would say.
I mean, they have a lot of good
Could be.
role players. They have Kyrie and Anthony Davis, and they'd have 3 legit big men that could protect the basket with Davis, Gafford, and Lively if they were all healthy.
Yeah.
And you got PJ Washington, that's a good role player. And
Yeah.
they
You
can
got
maybe.
Clay.
Oh, huh?
You got Clay.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think they could maybe make some noise, but I don't think they win the championship.
Nah.
Maybe like a second round team, maybe.
Yeah.
They're starting.
Well,
If Kyrie was healthy, they kind of look like that Lakers. Let me get the Madden cover team edition with Carmelo and Dwight Howard
Yeah.
and all the old fogies out there, and then do
Yeah.
a goddamn thing.
well, while we're talking about it, guys, who's everybody think is going to win the Kings Mavericks game?
I'm probably the Mavericks. I can't put any too much stock in the Kings anymore.
Yeah, we've seen the Levine DeRozan experiment before. Is Anthony Davis fully healthy? Anybody know?
Probably
As far as I
not.
know.
Probably
He
not.
played the last couple. He played the last couple weeks of the season.
That fool ain't never fully healthy.
If him and Gafford are both playing, I think the Mavericks will win because they'll be able to abuse Sabonis. Sabonis can't protect the basket at all. I think the Mavericks will probably get him.
That'll be the interesting thing is who are you even going to ask to guard Anthony Davis? Because if Gafford and Lively are playing, like, are you going to ask Murray, a 6'7", 6'8" wing to guard Davis or Lively or Gafford? That seems like a bad
Yeah.
move.
I mean, even without Kyrie, the Mavericks struggle to score, but I just think I don't know what the Kings can do in the paint with the monsters that the Mavs can stick down there. And then they're just going to get offensive rebound after offensive rebound because, I mean, Sabonis is a great player, but he's a power forward that plays center.
Mhm.
And that's kind of, even though he's a really good player, that's kind of been their weakness throughout the years is against certain matchups. They get abused down there because shouldn't be playing center. And it causes, I mean, a couple years ago, Kevon Looney averaged like 14 rebounds a game in the first round against him. I mean,
that's true.
And Anthony Davis and Gafford are a lot better than Kevon Looney. If the Mavericks can get to like 95 points, I think they got it in the bag. But you never know. The Kings, maybe they'll go off shooting threes, and you never know.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, 95 points is a pretty low total to beat the Kings. I mean, the Kings can score the basketball. That's the one thing they can do.
Yeah, I just think with Gafford, Davis, PJ Washington, who plays in Kyrie's spot?
It's Dinwiddie, isn't it?
It might be.
I
But-
think it is.
So we'll see. It'll either be the Kings shooting or the Mavs low post prowess that wins the game. It's just which one will overcome the other, I guess.
Yeah. I just can't trust DeRozan for 2 games, really. I mean, he might win this one because this is what happened last year. He's on the Bulls. He had a nice one game in the play-in, and then the second one he just fizzled out like a sparkler.
Well, I guess the follow-up question to all this though is would you pick either one of these teams against Memphis?
If Ja's ankle's not too bad, I would still take the Grizzlies.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Uh,
a jawless Grizzlies is not the same team.
Yeah.
No.
They don't
I
have
don't
quite
know.
the same offensive firepower without him, but if he's able to play, I don't think it really matters who wins the Kings Mavericks game. But if Ja is limited, then I don't really know who's going to come out of that situation. But it doesn't really matter. All three teams are going to get stomped by the Thunder, so
Yeah, that's very true.
it's just a matter of time of when they're going to lose.
Yeah.
I will say though the Memphis, although I would not pick Memphis to beat the Thunder, but the amount of swagger and attitude that Memphis brings when they go places, it makes their series entertaining. So I wouldn't be against a Memphis OKC series by any means.
Yeah, it'd be
Right.
fun to watch.
That's for sure. A lot of up
Uh,
pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what about this? If Miami ends up pulling this out, who you got in a Miami Hawks game?
Definitely Miami.
Miami.
I can't. Trey Young is a third option at best. I cannot stand Trey Young. He holds the Hawks back. He needs to go on a team where he can just spot up and shoot because he's good, but he's not a star. He can shoot from the logo. Cool. That's all you can do is that and 3 point. I can see a layup every once in a while, but he never has a team. So I cannot ever pick the Hawks out of the play-in.
Well, didn't you know, Ray? He's the greatest play-in player of all time. He's in there every year.
Good. Give him a fucking medal.
Dude, last night before the Orlando Atlanta game, Chandler Parsons and Lou Williams were on giving their predictions for the game, and the Hawks winning, they said was a lock. That it was that Orlando didn't have anybody to match up with Trey Young's playoff heroics.
Playoff heroics.
Yeah, I mean, I assume they're talking about the Eastern Conference Finals run they made. What was that, 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
After they beat who they beat? The 76ers and
No, the broke down 76ers.
The Knicks.
and somebody and the Knicks. Yeah. And then end up losing to what, Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yep, that sounds about right.
Something like that.
Wasn't that the first time the Boston went to the finals and lost to the Warriors?
That might have been, yeah. He's the new age Allen Iverson, man. He puts up insane scoring numbers on inefficient numbers and lives off a reputation of one playoff run.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Wade still taking his AI shots. There it is.
I mean, it's true. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Trey Young's shot under 40% for the entire season, I think.
If he didn't, it was close because I looked at it a few times.
I think he shot like 39% from the field for the year, I think, which is absolutely asinine in today's NBA.
It's asinine, not today's NBA.
Yeah. Oh, I think he might have shot 41%.
I'll say I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah, he shot 41%, my bad.
Well, it's still not good.
And then 34% from three on 8.5 attempts a game.
He's also third in the league in free throw attempts because he still gets all those shit calls.
There was a period of time in the third quarter when I texted you last night when the Hawks got back in the game, and it was literally just off. They called, I think, like 5 fouls on the Magic in like 6 possessions. And I was just like, what is happening right now? And
We were in the penalty. We were in the penalty in the first 2 minutes of the quarter.
It was asinine, dude. They were calling all these ticky-tack stuff on the Magic, and then Paolo drove to the basket and got hammered by someone on the Hawks, and they just didn't call it and let it go. And I was just like, what's happening right now? But
Yeah, it went really sideways. 'Cause I can't remember what we were up at halftime, but we were up by like 18 or something at halftime, and something along those lines, and they cut it to 3 in the third quarter.
yeah. Well, thankfully you all won, so
Yeah.
Kidding. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything else to add about the play-in before we move on to the playoffs?
No.
Yeah,
No.
I think we're good.
All right. Well, all right. We want to start in the East or the West, guys?
We can go to the West. Let's do the West first.
Ooh.
Save the best for
West
last.
You think the East is
Okay.
the best?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
That's where his Pacers are.
I know.
So that would mean we start with the West. So we'll start at the top here. It's Oklahoma City. I think we talked about that briefly a minute ago, and maybe Memphis or one of these other teams in the Mavericks or the Kings. Nobody's gonna pick one of those teams over Oklahoma City, are they?
No,
No.
definitely not.
I think that's
OKC moves
I
on.
think that's a sweep.
Yeah.
It's a very. I think you're right, Way. I think it's a very possible sweep there.
At most, it's a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, because Hartenstein, who's their top guy?
You got Chet and Hartenstein
Chet.
down low.
Yeah.
You got
SGA.
SGA and Case and Wallace and Caruso that all hound people on defense.
Oh, yeah,
and you
Caruso.
got Williams, who's a secondary scorer, and
Yeah.
they're like
OKC's
9 deep.
tough.
They're good.
They're really too deep. They have guys on the end of their bench that probably would play on most franchises and don't get minutes there because they have so much talent there.
Yeah, they have a Wiggins guy that comes off the bench and hits like 43% of his threes. They got everything. I mean, the fact that Alex Caruso, who made an all-defensive team last year, plays like 17 minutes a game for them is nuts.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. They're a very good team. They're just young. I'm hoping that they don't fizzle out early.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was pretty unanimous there. But then in the 2-7 game, we have the Rockets and the Warriors, which we mentioned earlier. I think that's a tough series to call, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy, as much as you want to hate him, he is a pretty great player on both ends. Not
In the playoffs.
Yeah, in the playoffs mostly. Not the most efficient scorer, but he knows how to grind it down and get you in the post. Curry is always dangerous. Draymond is always going to be a headache and a bitch.
I mean, he's playing Steven Adams again. He might kick him in the balls.
That's true. But
Yeah.
I like the Rockets. I think I'm gonna pick the Rockets in this one. They're young, they're hungry. The coach from Boston, who should have never got fucking fired in the first place, down there getting some hungry young gun guys getting going. I like it. I like the atmosphere in Houston, and that's who I'm gonna pick.
Yeah, I'm going with Ray. I think the Thompson on Curry. I think it's time. I think the Warriors are trying to make one last run, but I think the Rockets are going to get them.
Yeah.
I'm just undecided. I want the Rockets to win, but I also think the NBA wants Curry and LeBron to play each other in the second round.
Well, that's a good point.
The only weakness with Houston is they go through little slumps where they struggle to score at times. But they're young and super athletic, while the Golden State is this veteran team has 2 of their 3 best players have won 4 championships, so they know what they're doing. And Jimmy Butler is a playoff killer, but they're getting very old, and they just had to play a bunch of extra minutes and extra games here lately. And Steph is playing hurt, and they said Jimmy's thigh is hurt, but he just scored 38 points, so I think he's fine. I think this one might go 6 or 7 games. I'm gonna. Ooh, who do you think, Al?
Well, I'm thinking along the same similar lines as you, Wade. Like I think it's gonna be a tough series, a long series. I think we're gonna see a lot of back and forth, a lot of craziness. I mean, we may even see some shenanigans from our boy Draymond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But Steven Adams can
Um,
hold his own now.
Yeah, he better not mess with Steven Adams.
Well, that's gonna be the weakness. Is Houston have Steven Adams and Sengun down low, who are gonna
Yeah.
rebound over Draymond all day long, and Amin Thompson averages like 8 boards a game as a guard. He's a great rebounder, and all these athletic guys that come off the bench can rebound. And the Warriors are going to struggle on that part. The only part that
Mhm.
gives me hesitation is Curry and Butler can both just go off. And we've seen Jimmy Butler carry a Miami Heat team with a lot less talent to the finals twice. And now he's got Steph Curry. And it's just
well,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
what I'm thinking is I watched a decent amount of Rockets games this year, and I watched them in fourth quarters struggle to get buckets, even though they're playing really great defense.
Yeah,
And then they ended up with a lot of isolation with Jalen Green, who is also very inefficient.
he is.
And Fred Van Vliet, who is like their lead decision maker, shot 37% from the field this year.
He's always been
Good.
inefficient. He just needs to be there to help calm him down and make the right plays.
Yeah. So like, and I would like to say yes, they should be able to throw the ball into Shangoon and get easy buckets, but they struggled to do that against a lot of teams this year in the fourth quarter, and that wasn't with Draymond beating the shit out of him every time he goes to the basket.
Yeah, you know Draymond's gonna get away with murder down there.
Especially after he gets his first technical, because nobody's throwing him out of a game.
Yeah, that's how it goes every year. I
So
think
I,
I
I,
think
I guess what I'm saying is I think I'm gonna pick the Warriors.
Hmm.
yeah, I want the Rockets to win, but part of me just keeps something in my head just keeps whispering the Warriors are gonna win. But
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna lean Warriors, but I hope the Rockets win.
Okay.
Me too. Yeah.
Well, then pick 'em series.
All right. Well, then that leads us to the third place series, which would be Uncle Doug's Lakers
Yep.
versus the Timberwolves. And I'll be honest with you guys, I've told this to Wade, I've told this to Drew, who is obviously not here tonight, but I'm taking the Lakers in a sweep.
I don't
I think the Lakers are gonna dog walk these guys.
I don't think it's gonna be a sweep, but I think the Lakers are gonna win in 5 or 6.
Yeah. Of course, I'm picking the Lakers.
I'm picking the Wolves.
Drew did send a comment about every Laker game, and so I will just read what he wrote.
Oh.
He said, first round, doesn't matter if it's Batman, Superman, or Ant-Man. Lakers in 5.
Oh God. I think
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think they're gonna struggle to guard Ant-Man. They don't really have anyone to put on him, and I think he's gonna have games where he goes off. But I don't think he has enough help to get past Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. There's just too much firepower on the Lakers' end. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar. I was gonna say I think Ant's gonna get his, but I don't think it's gonna matter that much.
And
If I was the Lakers, my game plan would be okay. Ant's gonna score 40 tonight, but nobody else is doing shit.
well, Randall falls apart every year in the playoffs, and Drew's not here, so I'll just go ahead and say it. Rudy Gobert is playing, so they're gonna put him in a pick and roll, and Luka's gonna destroy him over and over, and then they're gonna have to put him on the bench, and then Naj Reed is good, but he can't match LeBron or Austin Reeves' production. So I just don't think no matter what Ant-Man does, I just don't think it matters.
I don't know.
What do you think, Ray? You're the odd guy out picking the T Wolves here.
I just have. I don't know.
Just say it, Ray. You fucking hate LeBron.
I do. That's no secret. I'm not a magician. I'm not showing any tricks. But I don't feel good about something. Like, I feel like one of the three are going to fall apart. and I feel like it's gonna be LeBron. He's gonna be this last bitch out season, and he's just gonna fuck him over like that third title run in Miami. He's just gonna fucking give up, and it's gonna be over with. I think this is gonna be Ant-Man. Like he had a breakout season last year, a great playoff run, and then he just got wore down. I think Anthony Edwards is just gonna kill him.
Funny you say that, Ray.
Wow.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was just say, I mean, I'm not going to argue with anything you said. I think Ant's going to have a good series, and I think there's always the possibility that LeBron bitches out. I mean, we've seen him do it multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, I've had a screenshot saved on my phone forever, and I just never got to use it. But you brought up that third straight finals appearance with the Heat, Ray.
Yeah.
And so I'll just go ahead and use the screenshot.
Okay.
In games 1 through 3 in the 2013 NBA Finals, LeBron averaged 16 points a game on 39% shooting and 23% on threes.
And it's been a weird season or a year for him because he's been chirping back at all the media people, getting mad about Bronny, going on McAfee, going on rants, all this other side bullshit. And I don't think this is going to be his year to even. I mean, it's possible to get back past the Wolves, but there's too much side shit going on with him, and I don't think he's even focused on anything but Bronny's come up if it even happens.
The Bronny stuff was kind of silly.
Yeah, I think if there was any noise that's going to be made on the Lakers, it's going to be all Luka, and that might not be enough to get past Timberwolves.
We'll see. I will say, I'm not a huge supporter of Stephen A. Smith, and he went apeshit after the LeBron thing and said a bunch of dumb stuff himself. But what LeBron got mad at was kind of silly. Stephen A. said that LeBron put his son in a bad position because he wasn't ready to play NBA basketball. And then LeBron freaked out about it.
Yeah.
But it's not like Stephen A. was even the only one saying it. People have spent 6 months talking about how Bronny wasn't ready to play in the NBA.
Yeah, I've been talking that since he got drafted.
And everyone knows LeBron's the one that put him there. So it was kind of silly for LeBron to act the way he did, but I don't know.
Like, the dude came at Windhorse. What the hell did Windhorse do to anybody?
Windhorse has praised him for 20 years.
Yeah. Like, dude, calm down.
Windhorse was very professional about it, though. He
didn't
was. Say anything mean back.
But yeah, so I guess that 3 Lakers, 1 Timberwolf.
Yeah. I mean, if the Timberwolves, Uncle Doug probably won't like it, but if the Timberwolves win, I won't be sad
Well, I
about it.
can't.
Yeah.
I don't like Gobert, but I can't.
I mean, I don't want to take Drew's catchphrase, but I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Hey, it's possible.
I have a feeling.
I don't dislike the Lakers at all, but the LeBron stuff's gotten old to me.
Yeah, I'm ready for him to retire.
So what you're saying, Ray, is that you have a feeling that Rudy Gobert is about to dominate.
He could.
Hey, he's going against Jackson Hayes, baby. You never know.
I mean,
Jackson will take him.
I mean, what is it? Gobert and who's the dude they got from the Knicks?
Randall.
They could hold down the paint. They ain't got no paint guys.
You know, if Jackson Hayes gives Gobert the business, Drew's going to go on a rampage.
Oh,
How awful Gobert is. More than usual. Drew's going to lose it.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Drew can say what he wants in the pod, but let's be honest. Drew is the only person I know that has Rudy Gobert's autobiography.
That's true.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Alex bought it.
Alex
Oh, okay. That's hilarious. I forgot about that.
That's good shit.
Yeah.
It can't be that good of a book.
Yeah.
It's not very big.
Yeah, there's not much to say. But how he didn't deserve 2 of his 4 Defensive Player of the Years.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, we could move on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that leads us to our last series in the West, which is Nuggets Clippers, which I think has the potential to be a very interesting one.
I do.
And somebody in this room has a Clippers jersey on. Um,
Elton Brand, to be specific,
That's my
and it's
only
being
Clippers
worn
jersey I
by
got.
Wade.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wade, but I don't think the Clips are going to win.
It will be a very.
It's gonna be tight. I
It's gonna
had
be.
trouble picking this one really.
It's
mean-
going to be interesting.
I picked the Nuggets, but it was like a coin flip because
Well,
I mean Clippers. What they say, playing the best basketball.
they're 18-3 in their last 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing good, but
I think it comes
Well,
down to either you have Jamal Murray and Kawhi, which one of
Yep.
them is going to stay healthy.
right.
And
exactly.
then you got James Harden. And then you got the depth, and then you got Russell Westbrook on the other side who can destroy things in an instant as well.
Yeah.
So it's really just up in the air, I think, and Denver doesn't really have much depth, while the Clippers do. But there's a lot of unknown variables that could throw this series off in no time. Like, because if Murray gets hurt, then the Nuggets are screwed. Obviously, if Kawhi goes down again, the Clippers are screwed. And then there's, Harden can ruin a series in no time. We've seen Westbrook ruin a series in no time. There's really a lot of interesting variables that go into this series.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Yeah.
No, I agree with everything you just said, Wade. Like I was about to say, I think this may come down to a Kawhi Murray health issue.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with everything you said. And for my pick, I'm simply going with just the best player in the series, which happens to be the best player in the world. And I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Nuggets because of Joker.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think
That's
it's
for
a very
sure.
possibility, but I can't be a Clipper and Kawhi supporter and pick the Nuggets. So I will go with my Clippers
Okay.
and hope that Kawhi stays healthy. We'll see.
I mean, I as a basketball fan, I'm hoping everybody stays healthy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we have
Yeah.
a really great playoffs this year.
Well, I've been saying for a couple years now, I want, well, Kevin Durant didn't even make the fucking playoffs, but
Yeah,
I
that's
want-
for crazy.
I want KD and Kawhi. I just want to see them each just have another. I want KD to be on a non-dysfunctional team and just see him make another playoff run, just to see it, just because he's just been on these dysfunctional teams and been a lot of nonsense. And I just want to see him go out there and play basketball and just enjoy watching him make a playoff push on a good team. And I just want to see Kawhi have one or two more healthy runs because whenever he's healthy in the playoffs, he tears it up. But obviously, we haven't seen that in a while. So I just, when you're a fan of players like that and things go awry, I just want to see him play important basketball games, and that's just what I want before their careers are over.
I mean, I think that's a fair thing to want. I'm not a Kawhi or Clippers fan per se, but um, as a basketball fan who watches every single playoff game, I love it when everybody's healthy and you get to see
Yeah.
great matchups and great games, and it just makes for a better experience. So I'm
Yeah.
always rooting for that.
If everybody's healthy, I think this could be a 7-game series as well.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
these two teams could really go back and forth, but we'll see.
Well, I think what a lot of people have overlooked this year is the Clippers have really played smothering defense this year.
Well, here's the funny part. When they lost Paul George, everyone thought that they got lots of people picked them to not even make the play-in. They thought they were going to be one of the bottom 2 or 3 teams in the West because, Kawhi had another knee surgery in the offseason. So people, everyone knew he was going to miss like half the season. And then with no Paul George, everyone thought the Clippers were going to be a cellar dweller. And if Kawhi stays healthy, this might be their best season since, in 4 years. Because, I mean, they made the Western Conference Finals a handful of years ago with Kawhi and Paul George, but we haven't seen anything in, 3 years?
Yeah.
So I think they're a better team right now because Zubac and Norman Powell have made huge steps forward with now they have the ball in their hands that Paul George is gone, and then they literally traded pretty much because they let Paul George walk. They could have re-signed him, but they chose to let him go. So they pretty much traded Paul George for like 3 or 4 role players that all play really good defense and move the ball, and now they have depth. So they have like 7 or 8 guys in the rotation that are all they can use. I don't know why they grabbed Ben Simmons, but they and they got Derrick Jones Jr. and now Norman Powell step up and took a lot of the scoring role from Paul George, and they got Bogdanovich from the was it the Hawks?
Yeah.
Yep.
So they literally just used that. They pretty much shipped off Paul George and got a defensive stopper in Derrick Jones, Bogdanovich, a great six-man guy that can score 15 points and shoot a bunch of threes. And they got someone else who I'm just not thinking of.
You're talking about Chris Dunn, dude.
Chris Dunn.
He's a bulldog on defense, man.
Oh yeah, you got him and Derrick Jones and Kawhi and Zubac, all guys who, half of those guys are contending for all defensive teams this year. Obviously, Kawhi has made 7 or 8 in his career, and I mean they switched their identity and they chose depth and role players over an aging superstar, and it's worked.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
look
you
at
know,
Philly.
Yeah.
And I really don't mean this as to get laughs because it seems to be true, but everybody says that the person they brought in that changed the culture and made these guys like a defensive first team was stinking Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah, they said he runs the defense. He's their
Yeah.
defensive assistant.
Mm.
Jeff Van Gundy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
he was there.
Well, last year when the Celtics won the finals, Jeff Van Gundy was one of their special assistants, and he helped run
Oh.
their defense last year.
Oh.
And of course, they shot a hell amount of threes and locked everyone down. So Jeff Van Gundy's made a big difference 2 years in a row in the NBA.
Okay. See, I wasn't aware of that. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Now, if the Suns would learn that lesson, and
well, they got to quit firing their
would
coach
have
every
gotten
year.
depth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a prime example of what's wrong with the Suns. Instead of spending $55 million on Bradley Beal, who makes your team worse, you could have gotten 2 or 3 role players that play defense and move the ball and shoot threes.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to have a team instead of pay 3 players and then have a bunch of G League players out there. It's
Yeah.
a disaster. But
That's what happens when you have fans, owning teams. They're just like, let's get my players that I like and let's make some noise. But they've never played. They've never coached. They don't know what the fuck's going on.
well, you saw that stat I sent in the group message. The Suns are 2-14 when Kevin Durant doesn't play. You have 2 players you're paying max dollars to besides Kevin Durant, and you won 2 out of 16 games, and
Yeah.
both wins were against the Utah Jazz, who were losing on purpose. And then when Bradley Beal doesn't play and Durant and Booker did play, they were like 14-3.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot.
I just couldn't believe they picked Beal up. That was a fucking
It was
weird ass
bad.
trade.
Well, if you have Booker and Durant, why do you need Bradley Beal?
Right. Exactly.
You need defense.
Yeah.
Defense and playmaking. Like that's what you need. And they over traded for Durant, and then they spent all their leftover money on Beal.
Well, that new owner just was
Ishbia.
making a splash.
Some
Yeah.
people
To
say
be
he's
honest
going
with
to
you,
try and.
They would have been better off keeping Ayton than trading for Beal.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Oh yeah.
in the Durant trade, lots of people around the league said they literally threw a bunch of draft picks and players at the Nets or whatever. They said that not all those players. They didn't even ask for all those players. They could have kept like Bridges or Cam Johnson. You're telling me one of those guys wouldn't have helped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bridges is a super role player, and Cam Johnson's like a 6'10" 3-point specialist. Like, I don't know. And some people are saying that they're going to trade Durant this offseason, and they're going to try and move Beal again, but I don't know if anybody will take him. But then, and then they're debating on what to do with Booker. But they said Ishbia wants to re-up with star players again.
Yeah.
He wants to try anyway.
Well, here we'll swap LeBron for Durant.
I just well,
There you go. That's a smart trade.
I don't know
Get
what.
LeBron out of LA.
Tom Serrani has said today, just this morning on ESPN, that there is mutual interest between Durant and the Rockets.
Well,
Oh God.
I've read that the teams that might trade for Durant are the Rockets, the Timberwolves, and there was a third one, but I can't remember who the third one was.
He'd be good
But
in,
here-
in Minnesota. I don't know. He got something going in Houston. I
Well,
wouldn't want to tear that up.
Houston has a ton of young players, so that's what the Suns will want. They want young
Right.
players to build around, and The Rockets have so many young players they can't even play them all. Like Reed Shepard didn't
Here's
even
the
play this year.
here's the problem though is the Suns are over the second apron, so it's
Yeah.
almost impossible for them to complete trades.
Yeah, you have
Like
to
when you're over,
completely
yeah,
match salaries or something like that, like
right,
down to the
and a
dollar.
team and a team, yeah, exactly. And the team like the Rockets doesn't have a bunch of big salaries because they're all young guys.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to be super, super hard for that to go down because Minnesota tried to trade for him at the deadline and couldn't get it done because they couldn't match
Oh,
salary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rockets have to give up half their team.
And the crazy part is like what the Suns really need. I mean, yeah, they need a couple young players, but they need draft picks because they got rid of them all for Beal and Durant, and that's how you rebuild your team. You get draft picks and you start accumulating young players that you pick that fit your system or whatever you want to do. And they have no draft picks till for like the rest of the decade
Mm.
or like something like that. It's crazy. But we
Well,
can.
gents, I know we're enjoying ourselves, but we're talking about a team that's not in the playoffs. Should we get back to the
True.
playoffs?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Are we done with the West?
yeah.
Yeah, that would be into
Okay.
the West and move us to the East, which obviously would start off with the Cavaliers and either the Hawks or the Heat. The Heat have won in the last few minutes while we've been sitting here talking. So, is anybody gonna pick the Heat or the Hawks over the Cavaliers?
No, definitely
No.
not. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think that's another series that has the potential to be a sweep, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, the Cavs are like 10-man deep. They're tough.
They
Super
are tough.
tough.
Well, then that moves us along to the two series, which would be the Celtics and my Orlando Magic. And unfortunately, as much as I would love to pick my Magic, I can't get there.
I'd
Um,
love to see your Magic win, but I can't get there either.
Yeah.
That might be another gentleman's sweep or a sweep there, buddy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Celtics.
I don't remember if it was you or Drew I was talking to the other day about it, Wade, but I said, I'll be if we win two games in the series, I'd be pretty happy.
I could see you guys maybe getting one because you got a great defense, and then the Celtics have random nights where they shoot 53s and only make like 9 of them.
Mhm.
So you guys might be able to squeak one out, but I think that might be it.
Well, I think my here's my hope is that we can steal a game or two and extend this series out and make them play a little bit, and like you said, play good defense on them, which essentially is us playing very physically with them, and we can slow them down for later rounds because Jalen Brown they say is dealing with a lot of pain in his knee. He had to have a pain injection in his knee just this week so that he'd be able to
Yeah.
play in the playoffs.
Okay. That's
So
good to hear.
if we if we can get extended a series and make
The
him play a
Pacer
lot of
fans
more minutes
extended.
and do those things, may slow him down for somebody later in the playoffs.
True
I
that.
mean, I mean, I don't wish injury on anybody, but I mean, as a basketball fan and player going down, and we ain't gonna deal with that player. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not wishing for a serious injury. I'm just saying, like, hey, you keep making him play on it, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
that everybody taking a Celtics
Yeah.
victory there? Yeah. All right. Well, then we move into the 3-6 matchup, which I think has the potential, even though it's 3-6, I think has the potential to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And the Knicks and the Pistons. Even if it's not super close score-wise, I think it's going to be super interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think the Knicks will get them, but I think the Pistons are going to make it really tough.
Yeah, if the Knicks are healthy, I think they just Cade Cunningham is a terrific player. He's on his way to becoming a star if he's not already. But you can only get so much production out of Beasley and Tobias Harris. And I do like Duran. I think he could end up being a really good player eventually. And he's a good player now, but he's got a little ways to go. But if the Knicks are healthy, I think they could just flat out outscore the Pistons in at least like 6-7 games.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Wade. I was you have the number one scoring pick and roll duo in the entire league in Brunson and Towns, and they, I think, are just going to be too much offensively for Pistons to ultimately handle. But I do think the Pistons can get a game or two from them, and it's going to be a muck it up physical series from the Pistons, and we may even see some scuffles because the Pistons are always good for that.
Yep.
Because Stewart just wants to fight everybody every game. We're
Yeah.
gonna see fights because Stewart tries to fight someone like once a week.
And he probably smells blood in the water because it's already been proven over and over again that you can bully Towns.
Yeah.
So he may try and just take Towns out of his game by trying to bully him.
Yeah.
That's a good, yeah.
Now the Knicks have Mitchell Robinson back, right?
Ooh, do they? Is Mitchell Robinson?
I
That's
think
a
he
good-
came back recently, so now they have a real defensive stopper down low, which can help anchor their defense. And then if Bridges and Anunoby can get back to playing good perimeter defense, then their defense could actually go back to being really good. But because when Towns is the one protecting the basket, it's a disaster. For as amazing as he's been on offense, they said at one point during the season he was giving up people were scoring on Towns in the paint at like a 72% clip. Like it was bad.
Yeah, it looks like Mitchell Robinson played like 17 games here at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So,
So if he's back, then they have a defensive anchor in the paint, and I think that'll make a big difference. Now, how long he'll play, I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's also fair. But I'm picking the Knicks in the series.
I am as well.
I got Knicks.
And then we have the 4-5 matchup. We have Rays, Pacers, and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep.
I do believe this is a repeat from last year's playoffs, correct? Right? Didn't you
Yes.
guys play the
Yeah,
Bucks last year?
one round. It was like second round, I think.
No, you all beat him in the first round.
Was
last
it the
year.
first round? Oh,
Remember,
okay.
because you had that rivalry about the ball in the regular season,
Oh yeah.
and then you all played in the in the opening round. Because Giannis right now, if he loses this year, it'll be
that's
like
right.
3 or 4 years straight he lost in the first round.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Milwaukee Knicks, and then we played the Celtics in the finals. Yeah.
Giannis set out the entire series last year, didn't he?
Uh,
I don't know if he set
No.
out the whole thing. I think I don't know. There's been because he
And
got
Lillard-
hurt like 2 years in a row going into the playoffs, but I feel like he played part of both series, but missed
I know
part
he
of them
played-
too.
Yeah, and I know Lillard got hurt in the middle of the series, like a calf injury or something.
yeah, I can't remember. Everybody was getting injured last year's playoff.
Yeah, it definitely was. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's talking about this year. So Ray, you gonna pick the Bucks in this series or what?
No, bibbity bobbity boo, Pacers in 5.
Oh, not only Pacers, but Pacers quick.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
we got a nice deep bench. Matherin 6-man, a couple decent defensive stopper guys. Halliburton's due for a breakout series, and what better way than against the fucking Bucks, you know?
Halliburton started shooting really well again after the All-Star break.
Yeah, he's getting motivated. He got a little rest, a little motivation again.
I saw something the other day that after the All-Star break, he's back to shooting like 40% from 3 and like 47, 48% from the field. So he's got his stroke back. And looks like, Alex, last year, I don't think Giannis played. And then 2 years ago, he played like half the series. But yeah, I also am going to pick the Pacers. I think the Pacers can get this one.
Yep, I'm picking the Pacers too. I like Halliburton. I really like Matherin. I think that was a good pickup for them.
Yeah.
I like
I think he's
Siakam.
going to really develop.
And I like that they don't put him back in the starting lineup because he can control the bench guys, and he can be the six man kind
Yeah.
of
Well, he can come in and be instant offense when you guys
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
And he has potential to be a very good player down the line.
He
but
does.
And we got the sneaky McConnell could put up 10 and 5.
Nesmith has good moments with you guys.
Nesmith, Nimhard. He had plenty of moments last year.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking about.
Nimhard, yeah, he had that nice 3-pointer.
Well, then you all started playing Jarris Walker, and he's had some good
Yeah,
moments.
he's been breaking out here the last like 10 games, which
Yeah.
I've been really surprised.
I've been waiting on that for 2 years.
No
Dude,
kidding.
I was calling
shit.
for a trade last year. I was like, man, what are we waiting on, you know? And finally it's starting to happen. So good on Carlisle for keeping him. And then, Miles Turner just keeps being consistent.
It's so great to hear you say that, Ray. So great to hear you say
Well,
that.
I mean, it was dark time. It was dark times for us Pacers fans. Missing the playoffs, watching wild 3 points from Miles Turner. Now Miles Turner's part of a team, and he can just kind of do his thing and block shots. Shoot the occasional three, not every other fucking possession down the floor. It's real nice to see when a team gets put together correctly.
I just think the Bucks, they need so much from Giannis to win for him to do it 4 times in a series against a team like the Pacers who can score a fuck ton of points. I just think it's too much to ask of Giannis right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he can't win a couple games by himself because he is one of the best players in the world, but here the last part of the season when Lillard's been out, for them to win, he's been having to put up like 35-point triple-doubles for them to win. And that's just a lot to ask from one person.
Yeah.
That's very true. I've watched a lot of their games here at the end of the season on League Pass. And yeah, he's put up some insane numbers. And he has put up those numbers offensively with Lillard out. I will say with Lillard out, they have vastly, vastly improved their perimeter defense. They're really really good defensive team right now, which I think they won like 13 of the last 14 games in the season or something like
Is
that.
Portis back?
Yeah, Portis is back.
Portis
yes.
been back? Okay.
Yeah, he came back the last 4 or 5 games of the season, I think.
Mr.
And
Enhancer.
and he or not he, but they have just been really turning it up defensively. And Giannis has been putting up big games. I do agree that it with Wade when he was saying, that's a crazy amount to ask of Giannis. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna be different. I'm gonna pick the Bucks here, Ray.
I mean, that's fine. That's cool. I
You
mean,
never
I
know.
do think I do think it's gonna be a long series though. I do think that.
It could
I mean,
be.
it could turn into something crazy. We have shown stints of where we can't score fucking a lick, and go super ice cold. So I mean, it could happen to where we draw it out to 7 or something. But I'm picking 5. We can get it done and quick. Get out of there. Get ready for the Knicks.
I'm gonna say 6-game series. Pacers get it in 6. I'll give Giannis a couple games.
Uncle Doug, did you make your pick? I can't remember.
Yeah. I picked Pacers.
Okay. All right. Well, that we picked all our first round games. Well, I guess we go back to the second round here. Everybody picked the Thunder. And then we had some Nuggets and Clippers differentials there, but you think the Clippers or Nuggets, whoever you picked, can beat the Thunder in the second round?
No, I don't see that happening.
Nope. I think OKC gets another one.
Yep.
Probably OKC.
I think
I don't know.
smart. I think OKC is the smart pick, but and this is if, but it's
don't
a
know.
huge if the Clippers and Nuggets, whoever wins that series, is healthy, they got a shot.
Well, the Thunder were phenomenal last year, and then they fell apart in the second round. The playoffs are a little different for them because you can be more physical with their secondary scorer. Is it Williams? Or what's his name?
Yeah, it's something like that. I seen it earlier. I can't remember.
He's struggled in the playoffs once or twice when people get more physical with him. And some of SGA's free throws go away in the postseason. His easy 8 to 10 points at the free throw line aren't always there in the postseason. And he's a much improved shooter from three. But if you can make him into a guy who has to shoot a lot of jump shots instead of driving to the basket all the time, that's what you want. And in the postseason, that's more doable because it's much more physical play, and they swallow their whistles some. So I'm not saying the Thunder are automatically going to lose in the second round every year, but I feel like if Dallas could do it to him last year, I think there's a few other teams that could do it to him. And I don't think Denver has the defense to do it to them, but I think if Kawhi's healthy, I do think the Clippers might be able to do it to them because they're a top 5 defense.
Okay.
But I don't know. There's a few other teams that might be able to do it. I'm trying to think. Like if Houston met them later on, I think Houston could give them some trouble. Them and the Lakers don't have the defense to do it, but the Lakers have a ton of offensive firepower, so that would just be a shootout. I don't know about the Warriors if they met up with them. Jimmy and Draymond could cause some problems, but they're so much smaller than the Thunder that I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then we talked about the Lakers, Timberwolves. Most of us took the Lakers, but Ray took the Timberwolves, and I think we were split down the middle on the Rockets, Thunder, or not Rockets, Thunder, Rockets, Warriors.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking about that second round matchup there, guys?
On my matchup would be Rockets Timberwolves. I took the Rockets. I guess I'm just gonna see how the Rockets defense pans out, and I'm just gonna roll with that to the finals.
I'm taking the Lakers, of course.
Yeah.
I think the Rockets are too young for the Lakers. And in Shannon Sharp style, here is Drew's second round comment. Doesn't matter if it's Chris Paul, Cliff Paul, or Logan Paul. Lakers in 5.
Ah, fuck Logan Paul.
Warriors Lakers. I think that could be a hell of a series.
It very well could be, yes.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think it'd be
They
nuts.
played the other night, and it was a fun game.
The Warriors got them, didn't they?
I think they did at the end. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
isn't that the game that somebody got hurt or thrown out or?
Oh,
Luka got thrown out.
yeah. There you go.
That's right, because the Lakers were up, and then Luka got thrown out, and they lost by like
Was that
15 or something.
Was that the Warriors game or was that the Thunder game?
No, that was the Thunder game.
That was the Thunder
Yeah,
game.
Luka
Oh,
got
Thunder
thrown
game?
out of the
Okay.
Thunder game.
Yeah, because the Lakers beat the shit out of the Thunder one game, and then the Thunder
Right.
beat them the next game. But I think the Lakers were winning until Luka got thrown
Right,
out.
and then the next day the NBA rescinds the technical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that wasn't a T. Okay.
Warriors Lakers. I don't know, man, because the Lakers want to play small ball, and small ball is the Warriors' specialty. They want to have Draymond at center, and then that's their best lineup, and that's what the Lakers want to get to. Jackson Hayes is out there for a few minutes, and then they put him on the bench, and they throw Finney Smith out there, and then they roam a small ball. And I think that would just be a hell of a back and forth.
I think it'd be fun.
But I
think it would be a great series.
I do. I think that would be another series that could maybe go 7. But I think the wear and tear that the Warriors are going to have to go through with the Rockets and the Clippers game and the play-in, I think would come back to get them. And I think the Lakers would squeak it out, I think. As much as I don't want LeBron to make the West Finals, I think he would win that situation.
Right. Well, unrelated basketball comment. If you hear the loud screaming of despair next weekend, that's because Logan Paul just beat AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and that will be me yelling down the road.
I'll keep it in mind.
I fucking hate Logan Paul.
Who do you pick,
Well,
Al?
I don't know. I've been sitting here going back and forth in my head because I do think it's going to be a hell of a series, back and forth series. And I do agree with your assessment that both teams prefer to go small, which kind of plays back into that um, great series type of comment again. Um, I don't know, man. Like, and it's so hard to pick against Luca. Luca is just so phenomenal in these situations, but at the same time, it's playoff Jimmy.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the thing. You're gonna have Steph and Luca running, kind of being the engine of their offense for both teams. And as phenomenal as Steph is, he'll have more wear and tear on him. He already has a hand injury. And Luca is just a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Productive.
Yeah.
And then you have LeBron and Butler that will be kind of this all around Swiss Army knife guy. And I mean, as much as we hate LeBron in the playoffs, he always puts up insane all around numbers. But so does Jimmy. So then so maybe even say they cancel out. So we'll say LeBron and Jimmy both are just all around monsters. I think Luka will be a little bit more productive than Steph in multiple areas. And then the third best player on both teams is Draymond and Austin Reeves. And Austin Reeves is going to give a lot more offensive production than Draymond, while Draymond is better on defense. But I think after Butler and Curry, the Warriors are going to struggle to score because Steve Kerr is already back to benching Kuminga, who is like their third best scorer half the time. He is refusing to play him right now. And then you're down to Draymond, the Jaminski guy, that big goofy white guy that post compared to Austin Reeves or Finney Smith, who can knock down a bunch of corner threes. I mean, Austin Reeves is going to score 20 plus. And then you still got Gabe Vincent who can come in and shoot.
Oh yeah, Gabe. Vincent.
I just think there's just after Curry and Butler, there's just not as much firepower that they need to stick with Luka, LeBron, Reeves, and their role players. That's the way I'm thinking about it.
That's
Well,
very true.
I think you convinced me. Wade. I think I'm gonna go with the Lakers.
Hmm.
Just trying to take a realistic approach, even though I know we don't like LeBron, but he does put up insane numbers in the postseason usually.
And then I guess then that leads us to the Western Conference Finals there with, I think all of us took the Thunder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some of us got the Lakers and Ray's got the Rockets. Is that
Yep.
right? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think that Western Conference Finals looks like?
I'm taking the Thunder all the way.
Yeah, I think the Thunder will make the finals. I think the Lakers can give them a run. I think it'll be a back and forth series, but kind of like what I said with the Warriors and the Lakers, the Thunder, as far as two-way players, are very deep. And yeah, I don't know. I just think it's kind of the Thunder's year. That's just kind of my thing right
Yeah.
now.
You know I'm picking the Lakers. You know I am. And Drew has another comment. It's KFC, UFC, or OKC. Lakers in 5.
5, huh?
Yeah. Have you seen the Shannon Sharp bit that he does?
Yeah, I've seen it.
No, I haven't.
That's what Drew's parroting here.
It's kind of lame, but
Shannon Sharp does this thing where he rhymes 3 things and it's Lakers in 5 every time.
because he's a LeBron sexual or lover or whatever you want to call it.
Definitely a LeBron sexual. That's true.
Yeah.
So
Some of them are kind of funny, I think.
Yeah, I mean some are they're decent, but it's just like, come on, Shannon, get off his ball sack.
The Kings have come back. They were losing this whole first quarter, and they're up by 2 now.
They hit a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna go with. Oh, let's knock something down. I think I am gonna go with OKC here, but I do think, like I said, it's really hard to pick against Luca in these situations. Um, so I don't feel wonderful about it, but OKC is having a special season right now, and Shea is also having a pretty special season himself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possible MVP.
Yeah, a lot of people I'm listening to seem to think that it's such a foregone conclusion.
I don't know.
I guess
Joker's got
we'll find
is like averaging a triple double.
He did
Yeah.
average triple double.
Yeah,
If he hadn't
not just a
just
triple
won,
double, a super efficient triple double.
yeah.
yeah.
I think there's just Luca burnout. I mean, I agree. I think he should get it, but I think because he's won it lately.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta get over these burnout things and give it to the right players.
Oh,
'Cause
I agree.
Yeah.
this fatigue shit is getting old.
This is Jokic's greatest season of his career.
Yeah, and he deserves it.
Yeah. Well, the whole on-off court thing says it all. When he's off the court or whatever, they're the worst team in the league. When he's on the court, they're the second most inefficient or most efficient team ever, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean he's amazing, and I mean nothing against SGA. I mean he's having a
Yeah.
good season too.
Yeah.
But it's just Joker should win it, but I don't think he will.
Right.
I think SGA is going to get it.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, should we go to the East, Alberta?
In the East, indeed. So we're looking at a Cavaliers Pacers series for you guys, and a Cavaliers Bucks one for me.
Hmm. Well, I'm taking the Pacers. It's gonna be a grind out to 7, but I think we can sneak 4 in there. Cavs are tough.
I got the Cavs.
I got the
I got the
Cavs. Sorry, Ray. I
mean,
supported you in the first round.
I can
but-
no, I can see your side, but I gotta roll with my guys.
Yeah, well, I'm rolling with my guys, so I
Yeah.
understand.
I mean, the Cavs are 10 deep, man. They are
Yeah.
rough.
That starting five is unreal on
It is.
offense and defense. That's their thing.
Yeah.
Is both sides of the ball. That starting five is great, and now they got a couple good bench guys to help support them, and they're nasty. I love Mobley. Mobley's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, he was good down low.
I mean, you get 19 and 10 with 3-4 assists and all NBA defense. That's my kind of guy.
And Garland, dude, that dude's quick.
Garland's a
So
beast.
quick.
Garland's a legit point guard.
Yeah, I wonder what type of numbers Garland would put up if he didn't play with another ball dominant guard.
Yeah.
Well, didn't we see that before what's his name got there?
Mitchell.
Yeah.
It was only like Garland's like rookie year.
Oh, okay.
Or like maybe his rookie and second year or something like that. And then, so he was still developing, and
Oh,
then Mitchell
gotcha.
showed up.
Yeah.
'Cause I think Garland made the All-Star team the year before Mitchell showed up, and then it's kind of been a lot of back and forth since then. Well, then he made it again this year, but yeah.
And then we have what? Did everybody take the Knicks?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody hit the Celtics. So then we have a Knicks Celtics series.
yep.
Celtics. I think this one's Celtics in 5.
I'm taking the
Yeah, it's gonna
Knicks.
be Celtics.
I'm going with
Really?
Ray. I'm
I
taking
got
the
the Knicks.
Knicks.
I think the Knicks can grind them out.
Mm.
Here's my thing: I mean, obviously you can pick who you want, but the Celtics not only swept that series, the Knicks didn't come within 20 points of them in any of their games.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Celtics killed
but
them
it's
in
the
every match.
playoffs.
The Knicks
Yeah.
struggled hardcore against good teams all year. I just think they're a bad matchup with the Celtics.
Yeah, I agree there, but I don't know. I just have a feeling about Brunson.
Brunson is good.
I just think this is his time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I don't know. I think the Celtics got it last year, and I don't see the same fire in them.
Because nobody, they don't have like the same kind of, nobody really talks about them. It's always the Lakers, Philly, New York. Nobody ever gives Celtics their due. And I don't know. I just don't see them that level. They might got, what is 2 seed?
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
they just don't have that same kind of flash that they had last year, like when everybody was talking about them.
I don't know. I just don't like the matchup for the Knicks. I think they don't match up well with the Celtics, and I just think the Celtics are just going to get them.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can kind of see that.
But if Brown's knee ends up being really fucked up, then it's a good possibility the Knicks might be able to beat him if his knee's really that bad. Because
That's true too.
if Brown's hobbled, then that'll change the whole dynamic of everything.
I wish the Knicks would have kept Hartenstein. Then it would have been.
Well, that's one of the things that makes the Thunder so unstoppable. They have
Yeah.
Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren both.
Yeah.
So their defense around the rim is unreal. And then on offense, Chet can go shoot threes, so they're not clogging up the paint together.
Yeah.
And you can run the offense through Hartenstein through the high post because he's a really good passer. So it creates this crazy dynamic on offense, and they're both amazing on defense and rebounding, and it's one of the keys to the Thunder's success.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with the Hartenstein situation is they couldn't offer him any money because they're paying the rest of their team out their ass.
That's
Right.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
with Towns and Brunson and Bridges and Anunoby.
Yeah.
Oh,
you have
yeah,
4 big
Anunoby.
contracts.
Forgot about that one. And didn't Hart get a check too?
I'm sure he's.
Yeah, he got like $90 million from
Yeah.
the Thunder.
I'm sure he. No, I think he was talking about Josh Hart.
Oh, Josh Hart.
Yeah.
So I was
I'm sure
sorry.
Hart gets
No.
paid a decent amount.
I
mean,
thought he got
he's a good player.
decent paycheck.
But I think the other guys got paid like either max money or close to max money. Like I think Brunson took that discount deal so they could sign the other guys, but he's still getting paid like what, 40?
Yeah, I mean, his contract was still like $180 million or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
He just didn't
he-
take like the $55-60 million deal.
Yeah. Supermax or
Yeah,
something.
but he's still getting paid like 40 some, and then Towns has a close to max contract, and then they paid Bridges and Anunoby like 30 to 40 some million a year. So like they're pretty well locked up with that team for a while, money wise.
Yeah. I think the best bet for the Knicks at this point is that if they can ride Mitchell Robinson and do a little bit of what Wade was talking about the Thunder did, where Towns can spread the floor, but Mitchell Robinson can still be that rebounder, defensive player that
Yeah.
can help them clog up the paint.
Well, that's the thing with the Knicks. Last year they were this great defense, and this year their offense shot up, but their defense tanked because
Yeah, it did.
Cat isn't a phenomenal defensive guy. Like he can have his moments, but he's not consistent enough, and he was giving up so many easy buckets around the basket that their defense just tanked. But if you have Mitchell Robinson in there, it does create a better dynamic for them. And if Mitchell Robinson can stay healthy, and Jaylen Brown's having knee problems, it could make it a very good series. I do see that as an avenue of it happening. But those are I don't know if those will happen or not. But
I mean, if Mitchell Robinson does anything, he makes it. He's another guy that Tibbs will play, so that his starters don't have to play 48 minutes.
yeah, well, Mitchell Robinson, when he's on the floor, is a great defender. He just never plays more than like 20 games in a row.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. We'll see.
For sure. And then we have we split the Celtics Knicks picks there, but I think most of us had the Cavs and Ray had the Pacers. So the Eastern Conference Finals matchups there. Ray, you sticking with your Pacers?
Yeah, I got a OKC Pacers final.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I liked your bracket you sent there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I got a cackle out of that. Let's see here. So I have Cavs, Celtics. I want the Cavs to go. I think it would be so awesome if they went with this team.
That would be nice for Cleveland, get out of the shadow of LeBron sexuals.
Well, they have. I don't know. I like so many of their players. Evan Mobley is one of my favorite young players in the league. I've always kind of liked Donovan Mitchell. I've always liked Garland a lot. I have nothing against Jared Allen or any of these other guys.
I like Jared Allen's kind of retro style he's got going.
He's a
Headband
really
and fro.
Very good center. Are the Celtics fully healthy right now? That's another thing. Like, is Holiday and Porzingis fully healthy?
Yeah, as far as I know.
They are right now.
Yeah, I mean they set out the last 2 games of the season, but they're all their starters.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people did that.
Yeah. Because when they're starting 5 plays, they're insane. But I know they've had a lot of trouble with injuries this year with a few guys. I'm trying to think. Do you think Porzingis or Drew Holiday will make it that far?
Probably not Porzingis.
No, that's what, I mean that's kind of what I'm saying. And then I think Drew Holiday age has started to catch up to him a little bit, even though he's still really effective in limited time. But
I mean, it's tough.
I don't
Well,
know. What do you guys think for all your
Mark-
picks?
Well, my thing is I want to pick the Cavs, but like you said, the Celtics they don't lose when their 5 starters are together.
Yeah, I know they're
They just don't. They win
Good.
at like it's like 92% or something stupid like that. It's insane what they do when all 5 starters play.
I know.
And right now they're healthy. Now again, you're not wrong in the fact of saying that Porzingis probably won't. There's a good
Yeah.
possibility Porzingis won't make it that far. We already talked about Jaylen Brown. So, but again, if I'm not picking the Celtics, I'm basing it on health. I'm not basing it on can they beat the Cavaliers if they're healthy.
Yeah. Let's see. You already said the Pacers are going.
Yeah.
Who do you think, Uncle Doug? Knicks or who's your matchup? Knicks, Cavs?
Yep, I'm going with the Knicks again. I'm
Knicks
going with
again?
Brunson.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, I'm like you. I really like the Cavs. I like Mobley. I remember watching him in college, and I really liked him then. But I don't know. I just have a feeling about. I don't know. I just think Brunson.
Okay.
He's going to have a big series, but his luck's about to run out.
Yeah.
And
And like
you know where that's headed.
yeah.
and like last year, I mean, we got swept by the Celtics 4-0, but we dicked ourselves 2 games. You know.
You did. You
Dick
should have
yourselves
won.
hard.
Oh yeah,
We
we
coulda
sat
had
here and
2.
watched,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
and you had a couple of those games won.
Yeah. So I mean, we can match up against a whole lot of teams, Cavs included, but Cavs is probably the ones I'm probably most worried about because we can match up against the Knicks very well, and we can match up against Celtics. The Cavs they're just nasty this season, and they're probably the most dangerous in the playoffs.
So,
What? I got something for you. If you think it matters that. So like last year the Celtics won. They have this great starting 5, and they were really really motivated, and they were playing their dicks off on defense, and they were shooting all these threes, and they won. And then obviously they're still really good this year. They won 60 games. They're gonna go try and make another run at the finals. But they always say, with 99% of teams that win the finals, the hardest part is repeating because you lose a little bit of that edge.
yep.
Now the Cavs are the Celtics from last year. They won it. They want that first chip as a group, and they've improved every year. A few years ago they made the play-in, and then the year after that they made the real playoffs, and then last year they made the second round of the playoffs. So do you think maybe this year, after winning like 65 games or whatever it was, they're the super hungry team, and they're just going to go balls to the wall and have that little extra effort and go all the way to the finals?
I think Donovan Mitchell's got to solidify himself as a main superstar.
Like, do you think that's a thing?
Oh, I think it's possible. I think Cavs is very good chance they're in the finals.
Screw it. I'm gonna go with the Cavs. I mean, these are just predictions anyway.
It's just for fun.
I'm gonna go with the Cavs. I want them to go to the finals. I'm gonna pick the Cavs.
Fair enough. I I don't know. I think I'm gonna pick the Celtics.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad
Go
pick.
back.
They're still
Yeah.
really good.
They are the defending champions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so now we have we have them all over the place. We have what? OKC Pacers, OKC Celtics, OKC
Cavs and
Cavs,
Knicks.
and then Lakers and Knicks.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lakers and Knicks. Okay.
We are all over the place, guys.
That's right.
Well, who's everybody's champion?
You know who mine is.
I say Uncle Doug already said his.
I already said mine.
Well, Drew. Ray already said his
Pacers.
too. I
Better-
think it's
Gonna be our
the
first one.
Yeah. Ray and I are homers.
Yeah.
well, I think someone else is gonna get their first one. I think the Thunder will win their first championship.
Well, it wouldn't be technically their first one.
It's the Thunder's first championship.
Thunder's
Yeah.
first one.
That's my pick. I think it's the Thunder's year.
Okay.
Alberte, Celtics, or Thunder?
I know, dude. That's tough. It's tough. Well, I guess I'll go with it. I was actually talking to Biggie about it the other day, and he said, if he asked me, if the Celtics are healthy, can anybody beat them? And I was like, no. And if I bet the Celtics to make it all the way to the championship, I guess I'm betting on them to be healthy. So
Repeat
I guess I'm gonna go with Say what?
I said, so you're picking the repeat champions?
I am. I'm gonna go with the repeat.
Ooh.
Unfortunately,
So since
I
we
don't want it. I don't want it to be that, but that's what I'm picking.
Well, I got two questions. One, since we all picked someone different, should we put some sort of small fun wager on it? On who's right?
Oh, what are we gonna do here?
That's what I'm saying. I think it'd be kind of fun. I mean, nothing crazy. I'm talking about something like really kind of fun, like something little.
I'm interested.
And then second of all, if Jason Tatum wins back-to-back championships, it's gonna be an interesting conversation. It's gonna be like 5 straight first-team All-NBAs and 2 straight championships. That's gonna put him in some crazy territory.
It's true.
Especially if he gets Finals MVP this time, it's pretty gnarly. I think that a lot of the Jason Tatum hate probably has to go away.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the Jason Tatum hate to begin with. I mean, I don't think he's Joker or Luka or Giannis, but I do think he's a really good basketball player. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's a couple years straight now. He's averaged like 28 to 30 points, like 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and plays really good defense.
He's just not flashy.
Yeah,
He's just a solid player.
he just does everything well to really good, and he's an amazing player at this point. Back in the day, I thought he was a smidge bit overrated like 5 years ago, but he's pretty amazing now. But he just had a bad shooting slump last year in the finals. But
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
indeed it will.
I think it's fun that we all pick someone different, though.
So what are we gonna do for this wager? I'm interested in this.
I don't know. I was trying to think of something that just be kind of fun that wouldn't be, like a pain in the ass to do.
Well, what if, I mean, it may be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but I was gonna say, what if whoever wins, the other 3 people have to go in together and buy them a jersey from their favorite team?
Maybe like a jersey or maybe just I was gonna say like a championship shirt of the team that won or something or
Yeah, or a banner.
Oh,
yeah,
I mean,
okay.
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Well, here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. I picked the Celtics to win. I don't want any Celtics shit.
We'll buy you Magic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want Matt. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Okay,
want Magic
yeah.
stuff.
Just buy the person like a shirt or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
That's
good with
cool.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, cool, cool.
All right, sounds good.
Be interesting.
Well, we've been on here a while, so we do need to wrap up here shortly. But I do want to bring one more thing up real quick, and which really has nothing to do with the playoffs per se, but this Mavericks, Nico Harris, Luka Doncic trade stuff has gotten out of control, and it just waylaid us in the media again today because the owner of the Mavericks required Nico Harris to do a press conference with the media, but they made it so no cameras or recording devices could be brought in, and only select hand-picked media members could attend. And then the things that are coming out about it, especially from Tim McMahon, who is being backed by other reporters, are just nuts.
Sounds like
the apparently,
Democrats to me.
We don't need to go down that avenue, Ray. We don't need this to turn into a political podcast.
but apparently at one point during the meeting today, he said he didn't realize before the trade how attached Dallas fans were to Luka.
Oh my God!
How can you not know that when
what
you're
a what a
an
brain dead
executive
son
for
of
the
a bitch.
team?
So brain dead.
Yeah, that's
Somebody need
just
to check his
ridiculous
vitals.
statement.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Before this, he wasn't in basketball, right? He was like an executive for Nike or something like that. And then
Oh
my
he
God.
somehow had like a connection to the Mavericks or something, and then he got brought in to try and run the Mavericks instead of running some like department of Nike or something.
Well, that's yeah.
Is it something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think this is an example of why you hire basketball people.
Yeah.
Not people that I don't the whole thing's been asinine, and I think he's secretly behind the scenes terrified of what he did, and he doesn't know how to react to it. And I think it's also come out a lot from a lot of people that the owner played a huge hand in this, and Nico was the one that is kind of getting all the blame. But I mean, he is the one that made the terrible trade when they should have gotten every draft pick the Lakers had, plus probably Austin Reeves and probably another player or two on top of it. But I don't think he knows what to do. I really don't. I don't think he knows what to do. I don't think he knows what to say. I mean, there's no way he hasn't seen all the stuff said about him over the past month or two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much been in his face for 2 months now that he just made the biggest mistake in basketball history. And I just don't think he knows what to do. I really don't. I think he's just, and the crazy part is him and the owner are in agreement on this. So the owner's not going to fire him, I don't think. So I don't know.
If Uncle Doug's pick is correct and Luka takes the Lakers to the championship, does that change how the owner feels about it?
Well, and Drew says Luka's going to be the championship MVP.
Well, if they win the finals, I think he will be.
Oh, I do too.
For sure. And I think it's a possibility. Like, the Lakers are one of the few teams that have a chance to win the finals. If you have Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, you have a chance to win the championship. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I mean, any team with that much talent, if you are hot at the right moment and you're playing well
And healthy.
yeah, and healthy, you can go. I think there's probably 3 or 4 teams that have a realistic shot at it, and the Lakers are one of those teams because you just
Because they got Luka.
Yeah, Luka's one of the
We had no chance before that.
No.
yeah. You just paired LeBron, who isn't even in his advanced state in his career. He's one of the greatest players of all time. He's even at an advanced age is still. He's not the best player in the NBA anymore or anything like that, but he's still one of the best players in the NBA.
He's the bitchiest player in the NBA.
Yeah, well, I don't like him either, but unfortunately, he's still really good.
He's not my team, and I don't like him either.
I mean, he just averaged like 24, 8, and 8.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's still one of the best players in the league, and he can kind of do everything. And he's, after all these years, knows how to control a game and spread the ball out and when to turn it on and off on defense. And then you gave that guy like the second or third best player in the world. And then you also have Austin Reeves, who's developed into a offensive machine himself. I mean, it's for the Lakers. This was the fucking jackpot. Like, they're back. The Lakers are back. At the beginning of the season, all people talked about was how boring the NBA was, how old and injury prone the Lakers were, and now look. Since the Luka trade, people have gone crazy over the NBA. You haven't heard anything about how boring the basketball is anymore. And the Lakers are back to being the number one priority on all shows. And they're a championship contender. And it's crazy. It really is crazy.
Well, rebuttal to the Lakers on number one priority. They've been a number one priority
Well, you're not wrong on
forever,
that.
whether they were good or not.
It's like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They lead every show.
Oh,
Any
Southern
team that-
Steve.
Every team that LeBron's been on the past 20 years has been the leading
Right.
basketball team as far as shows and topics on shows. But and the crazy part
I don't
is,
know.
in the off season, the Lakers are going to add a quality big man.
Yeah, totally.
So a championship's
Sabonis.
coming.
Sabonis.
It's going to happen.
Sabonis is coming.
Yeah, Jackson's destined to go back to the bench. They're going to get somebody.
Well, imagine if they wouldn't have rescinded the Mark Williams trade. He actually had some really nice games after they rescinded the trade. So, like, imagine if he was healthy right now on that team. He's a super athletic big that would be getting lobs from Luka all day long. Like, and he'd actually be a real paint presence. And I don't know. If I was the Lakers, I would regret rescinding that trade. Even if he's injury prone, if you could just get him for a period of time, I think it would have been worth it.
Is Bronny on the playoff roster?
I would imagine. I
Seriously?
don't know for sure, but I bet he is.
Imagine if Bronny gets a ring his first year in the league.
Oh my God, I'm gonna throw up. Like seriously, I'll even record it for everybody to watch.
I'd almost bet they'll stick him at the bottom of the roster.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, you know, LeBron wants Bronny to have a ring.
Yeah, he wants him to go to the playoff run with him. And,
Yeah, but it's gonna be a participation trophy. How much you gonna give this child?
Well, he got to start the other night.
Oh my God.
They were resting everybody, so Bronny got to start a game.
But of course.
He took his dad's spot, I guess.
I mean, at this point, does any of this shock you, Ray?
No, but it just makes me sick because it's just like the dude is not good enough to be in the league or the playoffs, and he's gonna. I mean, it's possible he gets a ring, and it's just a lame participation trophy for being LeBron's sperm. You know, it fucking just it's a spit in the face to every fan, really.
Hey, he averaged 2 points, 0.7 rebounds, 0.8 assists on 31% shooting.
As a starter.
Those are his stats on the year.
Way to go, Bronny.
31% from the field, baby.
2, 1, and 1, huh?
Well, 2.7 and 0.8.
Yeah.
Come at me, LeBron. Come
So
at me.
less than a rebound, less than an assist, and shot 31%
man.
from the field.
Mm.
So suck on
Well,
that,
Jen,
Ray.
do you think we ought to wrap this up since we're just kind of meandering around here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Well,
I'm
we
looking forward to the
appreciate-
playoffs.
Oh, me too, man.
yeah.
Me too. I think we need to get together and watch a few nights of NBA playoffs as a Nemo crew.
Yeah,
I think that'd be
cool with
good.
that.
Good stuff. And that being said, we appreciate you tuning in for this playoff preview. And we would appreciate you tuning in next week for crap, Ray. What's next?
God, what we do last? Saints?
Saints last, yeah.
Falcons or did we already do Falcons? I don't know.
I'm
It's
not sure.
Falcons or something. Panthers. One of the two.
Some NFC South team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We suck at this.
And thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.
Hey, Ray.